Well, I noticed a lot of new faces this evening, and I'm so glad you all came. And I want you to know that this is a safe place to share. So if you want to tell us your story, there'll be no judgment.
Hi, my name's Charlie, and as you know, I'm addicted to cars. So yesterday, I made a video that I've been wanting to make for quite some time on Vladi's Corvette. You remember my friend Vladi from other videos like the Pontiac Solstice, the Hudson, and the Fiera that he's been working on. So he's got a few other projects that we'll probably see at some point, but I wanted to show you guys his Corvette. It's beautiful, and I got a chance to go over and visit with him yesterday and make that video. Unfortunately, the intro that I did for that video didn't record correctly, so I'm doing it the next day. So also to note on this video, we actually used microphones for the first time. I've noticed that the sound quality, especially when I have somebody else with me that is talking about the cars, it's difficult and hasn't been able to be heard very well, especially like with wind noise and with various random noises in the environment. It's been a little bit tough to hear sometimes, so I apologize for that. Trying to get better at this and trying to get better equipment. So we do have some microphones that we're using on this video, and you'll notice a difference, I think. Unfortunately, the gimbal, which makes the videos nice and smooth, is not compatible with using the microphones at the same time. So I kind of had to hand hold the camera, and I don't think you can tell too much. I think it's okay, but just so you know, we're trying here on Car Glutton to get more sophisticated with what we're doing. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and check out this video. It's a pretty awesome car. All right, well, we're back with Vladi.
Back again.
And this is his, what, 1986, right?
6, yeah.
1986 Corvette, C4 Corvette. So you may notice this video's a little bumpier than usual, but the sound's better.
Yeah.
So you can either have good sound or
steady
not
video.
Yeah, or steady video. You can't have both, apparently. Oh my gosh. And even the sun came out.
Nice.
Yeah. So how long have you had this, Vladi?
I think it's been 2 years now. Yeah, a couple of years. This was one of those bucket list cars I had to have. I didn't really care what year, but it so happened the very first one I ever drove, I tried, it was an 86, so it just happened to be an 86 again. This one is a stick shift, Doug Nash 4+3 trans, and some people like it, some people don't. Most people don't. I don't know why. I'm good with it.
How could you not like this? That's un-American.
Yeah, right.
And probably the most unbelievable part of this, how many miles are on it?
I bought it with 26,000. It has 29, just turned 29 about 100 miles ago. So.
And you didn't buy it in 1987.
I did not. I did not. Yeah, this thing pretty much sat with the original owner for about 20 years. They barely drove it. Then the second owner bought it, and they were in a club and even belonged to some museum or something up Northern California. So it was a California car, so you know it's clean. Although these don't have rust issues like some other ones do, but you can still have rusty frame.
Right. Normally I like to go over the history of a car, but that's because normally we're looking at more obscure cars. This is a Corvette. Right. Who doesn't know about Corvettes?
Who doesn't know? Yeah.
Although I will say, so Corvette, the first one started in 1953.
Correct.
I just read that somebody within GM, and it wasn't like their marketer, it was like somebody, and I'll put their name here, but basically it was their suggestion that they named GM's new sports car after a battleship.
See,
a battleship or a warship called the Corvette.
Corvette. Oh, okay. See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. and that's where it got its name. And it's been around since. I mean, pretty much nonstop. Have they ever not had a Corvette? Has there ever been a break in Corvettes? I don't think so.
Yeah, well, okay, so between C3 and C4, the last year of C3 you could get was collector edition in 1982. And the very first model of this, C4, you could get was 84. So technically they did have a break. 83 was, I don't think you could get a C3 in 83.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
So I don't know if it was because they were not quite ready to come out with this one. It still had the same Crossfire engine in 84 as it did in the C3. So the TPI, tuned port injection, came in 85. So yeah, I think in 83 you couldn't get a C3 Corvette. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And this one, like we said, it's a C4. So the other thing I'll say is, like, when I was researching these just a little bit, because again, it's a Corvette, there's like a huge following for these.
Yeah.
But it's weird to me that it seems like the history, just from a novice mainstream Corvette fan like myself, right? Not like the diehards.
Right.
But when I think of the earliest Corvette, I think of a 63 Corvette.
Oh.
That's sort of like the look
Yeah.
that I associate with the very beginnings of Corvette.
Right. Right.
But that's a C2, right?
Yeah, and that's the Stingray. And they came out with those split windows. They were really popular. And yeah, that's when you could get them with the big blocks and all that. You know, prior to that, you could get the early Corvettes. You could get with a 6-cylinder, straight six.
Really?
I think the 53. So I think later on is when they gained more popularity. Yeah, but that one is definitely the one to have. I'd love to have me a 63.
Oh yeah, that's like, I mean, I think that's the pinnacle
Yeah.
of what most people, collectors, are looking for. However, like I said, when I was looking at 53 is when they started, and I was looking at those, I mean, they kind of remind me more of like a Sprite, or like those, like an MG midget. I mean, it didn't look just like them, but I'm just saying, like, that sort of a look.
Right.
Those older roadsters.
Yeah.
It just looked like one of those. It didn't really look like a Corvette yet.
Right. It didn't come to its own like it does now. Now you know it. When
But
you see
still
a Corvette,
sweet.
you know it's a Corvette.
I bet you those are a pretty penny, like a 50s Corvette.
Oh yeah. Yeah, anything older like that nowadays is just insane. Well, I mean, if you have the money, then it's not bad. But it's, for me, I play with little amounts, and I have way too many cars on my wish list. So I kind of have to take certain concessions. Like, I do want a C3, but for the money, this is the one I found, and I'm living on it still.
Oh, this thing is beautiful. So, what all have you done to this? Because Vladi, we've talked about in other videos, Vladi's a maestro when it comes to.
I just like to play with little details, but it's like I was thinking about actually playing with the wheels. But what's crazy about these wheels, this type of wheel that came out in '84, you can only get that wheel for this side, this corner. You can't change it anywhere else because the fins are facing forward on this side, but they're facing forward on the other side too. So you couldn't take a wheel from that side and put it on this side, or it would not look right, and it wouldn't serve the purpose of cooling the brakes. And then also it's a narrower wheel for the front than it is the back, so you couldn't rotate them or anything. So this wheel goes right here, and that's the only place it lives. So that's kind of cool. And then just the fact that they made them finned to channel air, it was like, it's just something, you know. I might kick out the wheel a little bit in the back. The only thing I did is I evened out the ride height. This was way too high in the back stock, so with these it's actually really easy to lower. It's a bolt basically that you buy. It's a longer bolt that pushes the spring to body lower, ratio lower, and then it just kind of evens things out. And I don't know, I like that look a little bit better on this. And I just need to kick it out a little bit. If you see the back wheel, it just needs to come out 1/4 inch for my liking. And that's about it. I tuned it up, and I I did the roof. That's one thing I wanted, because this particular one didn't come with a glass roof, and I like the look. So
yeah, breaks up all the red.
yeah, it was all red, and I don't know, there's just too much red when it's like that. So a lot of people will take the sail panel as well and paint it black, but I didn't. I actually like this look. So
Oh yeah, that looks good.
so the roof panel's black. I do need to do something about the exhaust tips. Whoever did those did them at night and possibly blindfolded, so I'm not digging on those at all. So that'll have to be updated. But then when I'm there, I might update the exhaust. We'll see. But it just doesn't go. It doesn't. Never mind that they're crooked. They're square, and you know, it would really match the taillights if they're round. So
That is odd.
I'll have to. Yeah, somebody. That's what I'm saying. Somebody really. That's probably what they had on the shelf, and yeah, that's not my my style. So that'll have to go. And it is lowered an inch in the back. It was just too much gap there. It didn't match the front. So I like that much better.
Oh my gosh, beautiful. I mean, I think I'm a broken record when I talk about these, but it's the same thing I thought about the Fiero. Like the inside just screams 80s, and I love it.
It does, and this was the early airbag here. They call it the bread box here. You know, it's permanently inflated, so in case you you do make contact with a non-moving object or a moving object, you know, at least your passenger will be safe. You'll die like a man over there because there's nothing to protect you there, but your passenger might live.
And these seats hug you. It hugs my tush.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if I eat too much,
You might
I
not.
might be able to fit in there.
Well, that's why you have them buttons right there to let go a little bit. So if you go
does
on
it
a
open?
Thanksgiving dinner, you can open and close the bolsters a little bit.
Shut the front door.
So, yep. Yeah,
I'll be
they thought of
damned.
everything.
Chevy, you're thinking.
They were
Got your-
thinking. Even back then, they were thinking about it.
I feel like, golly, that thing's beautiful.
Okay, but the coolest thing about these, do we do it now? The headlights, they don't just open up and down.
Oh yeah, let's see.
That's
Oh yeah.
That's by far my favorite detail. They couldn't just go up and down, because that way they can make them rounder for aerodynamics at night.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I love the way they open and close. They just don't go up and down. They actually,
Yeah.
love that detail.
Heck yeah. So anything left that you're gonna do other than the exhaust tips? You're gonna try to widen the stance out in the back a little bit.
Widen the stance in the back.
I mean, this thing doesn't really need a whole lot.
It really doesn't,
Pretty
and that's
cherry.
because it's such a low mile car. I can't see me doing anything too crazy with wheels and lowering it and all that stuff. It does deserve to stay as stock as possible, because it's already a really nice looking car. So the things that I want to do would look pretty much stock, just a little bit better in my opinion. So people will look at it and it'll still look like an 86 Corvette that came out of the factory like that, but it'll look better because it'll be kicked out in the back a little bit. The tips will be more fitting to the body, which is round, and that's probably where I'm gonna leave it. I did have to do the headliner. That was saggy, so I had to fix that. And I did the tune-up. I did IAC valve and certain things that's just from age, because you know, not driving a car is almost as bad as having way too many miles on the car, because you know, everything rots. All the rubber gets dried and cracked, and gaskets leak and all that stuff. But this one actually wasn't too bad. It was, like I said, tune-up. I gave it a tune-up and a couple of things really, and she's dialed in, ready to go.
Oh yeah.
It's got really cool bottom end torque where you're cruising at 1200 RPM all day long, and then you step on it and it'll still wake up. They do tap out kind of early. By the time you hit 4 grand, you're already kind of pushing it on the old tachometer.
I think all that's left to do is probably go for a ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the Corvette. This thing is beautiful. Thanks for watching. Make sure and subscribe, like, click the bell, all that good stuff. And we still got to check in with Vladi on the progress on his Hudson.
Yes, that's next.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for watching. We're going to go enjoy the car. Oh, see you on the next one.